It's a beautiful night again from Legacy Fields. I'm Andrew Meyer with Noel Ferry. And first off, Noel, before we get into anything baseball, we want to wish all of our viewers that are dads a happy Father's Day. Hope you had a safe one. It was a beautiful day to have a Father's Day. And Noel, where would we be without our dads?
Yeah, none of us would really be half the people we are without our dads.
Yeah, I wouldn't look like the way I am because I look
true.
exactly like my dad, who's here at the ballpark today, of course. And Noel, last time we were here is a little bit of a disappointment. The Corndogs fell behind early 5-0. They fell just short of the comeback final score of 5-4. What did you see in that game that led the Corndogs to pick up a tough loss in their first home loss on the season?
Well, the bad news is also a little bit of good news for the Corndogs.
Okay.
It came in just specific innings, half innings of just uncontrolled pitching.
Yeah.
Guys lost their rhythm, and we're letting wild pitches determine the game. And whenever they're getting free plays like that, we discuss that a lot. Walks, hit by pitches, wild pitches.
Yeah, those free bases.
It's free bases and free scores.
Well, the good news is that we dug into our off-square Brewing stat of the game, and Frank Plezak, he doesn't throw too many baseballs out of the strike zone. When he throws a first pitch strike, he will do that 81% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's crucial because if you can get in a pitcher-friendly count, you control the game, you control it with your own mind, and you don't have to worry about free bases, and you can get them swinging and missing more.
We're going to look at the misprint matchup preview now. Lake County Corndogs come into this game with a record of 13-6, and on the other side, the Joliet Generals come in at a record of 7-8. No, it's been a long time since we've seen this team. They had a doubleheader out in Carroll Streams on a Wednesday, then came back here and played them on a Friday where the Corndogs won 8-5. What can you tell the fans about the Generals and for the fans that haven't seen them in such a long time?
So even though the Corndogs have remained undefeated against the Generals so far, this is no team to scoff at. We saw this team be able to score 6 runs, I believe, in an inning where the Corndogs had already scored 13, so it seemed a little bit pointless at the time. But they were able to accomplish that. And there was a game here at Legacy Field where the Corndogs did have to come back and win that game later on in the, I believe it was the 6th inning. So they've got great players all throughout. They've got great pitchers as well. We don't see Jack Bell today, who really had the Corndogs number. Instead, Christian Jacob, who the Corndogs have also seen.
We got to be careful of Dino Bigger, who's going to be in the lineup today. He was a former Northern League Player of the Week, where he batted well over 400 and hit for power. He had a double, a triple, and I think 3 multi-hit games in that span. So he's going to be a player to watch for. Noel, who is your Corndogs player to watch for today?
My Corndogs player to watch for today is brand new Hayden Matulik.
Yes, Superman.
He came in red hot for the Corndogs, making play after play in the outfield. Was a great bat as well. He's back in the lineup today for a second straight game. Already earned the name Superman, so I'm excited to see what he can do.
Superman back in the lineup. He's going to be out on right field. He's batting 6th today for the Corndogs. It should be a fun one. And as Tom Bialik goes into the starting lineup, that's our time to tell you that the University of Chicago Medicine injury report is clean slate. All the Corndogs are ready to go. They're going to be out on the field ready to battle with these Generals, get back on the winning board, and try to go to 14-6 on the year and build their lead up in the Northern League standings. This was your Corndogs pregame show. Let's send it over to Tom Bialik and your defensive alignment for these Lake County Corndogs. When we come back, Northern League baseball. Let's do it, Noel.
Let's do it.
The designated hitter, number 19, Roman Koontz. Batting 5th and playing third base, number 7, Cal Curiel. Batting 6th and playing right field, number 32, Hayden Matulik. Batting 7th and playing left field, number 28, Austin Ridgway. Batting 8th and catching, number 12, Jaden Real Deal. Batting 9th and playing second base, number 15, he does it all, Colin Small. And pitching, number 21, Frank Plezak. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your Lake County Corndogs. Ladies and gentlemen, this time we ask that you please rise, remove your caps, and direct your attention to the American flag. Singing tonight's national anthem, Cassandra Brown.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
That's Cassandra Brown. Nice job.
The national anthem has been sang. The players are on the field. We're ready to go. Andrew Mild, Noel Ferry up in the booth. And again, happy Father's Day to all the dads tuning into today's game. We're happy to have you. And for all the fans also that may not be dads. But the Lake County Corndogs and the Joliet Generals set to do battle here. The Lake County Corndogs still atop of the Northern League at 13-6, just 2.5 games up on the Southland Vikings. And with the Vikings not playing today, the Corndogs, if they win the game, would get a half game up on the Vikings. If not, they would drop to just 2 games above them in the standings. That team is red hot. The Corndogs need to keep building ground on them as this season goes on. For the Joliet Generals, they are right now tied for 4th place with the Crestwood Panthers. At both teams are 4 games behind the Corndogs. The Panthers are 9-10. They're playing a game right now against the Chicago American Giants on the south side. The Joliet Generals are 9-8 heading into this matchup. Let's look at the defensive alignment for the Lake County Corndogs as we're still waiting for our umpires to take the field. It is 5:58, so they still have some time looking out in the outfield. In left field is going to be Austin Ridgway. Making his return to the lineup for the first time in 2 games is Gavin Terry, who still leads the Northern League in stolen bases, runs scored, and is one of the best batting averages in the league. Happy to have him back. Superman is out in right field by the name of Hayden Matulik. I don't know if there's a phone booth out in right field, but Matulik has turned himself into Superman after the last game against the Oilmen where he made 3 diving plays. One of them ended up being the University of Chicago play of the game. On the infield, going from left to right, and you kind of see them talking right there, it's Cal Curiel, and then to his left will be Tyler Schultz playing short. Colin Small is up the middle with Schultz over at second base. Mathies will be at first base after pitching against the Oilmen. Behind the plate and catching the starting pitcher today, Frank Plezak, is the man of a million random facts, is Jaden Deal.
Yeah, honestly, I thought I was someone who had a decent amount of random facts, and then I met Jaden, and he's just constantly been firing them off.
Yeah, here's a good one that he gave us. Since we have some time to spare, because the umpires have now arrived, it's 5:59. The game was supposed to start at 6. He asked, what is the number 1 listened to religious band of all time? Do you remember what it was? Because I remember it.
I do remember what it was, and it's something that absolutely nobody would expect. If you don't really know them, you know them for one song.
Exactly.
That's the Killers. They're the band that produced Mr. Brightside, one of my favorite songs of all time.
And for the University of Michigan, it's their favorite song.
Yes.
That is one of the few college football songs that a band that's not affiliated with the school, but because it's so big there that they jam out to the song. So it's Mr. Brightside for Big Blue, and then for trying to think of what other one. I think it's Enter Sandman at Virginia Tech is huge. That one will give you goosebumps if you watch their reiteration of the song when they were playing North Carolina to open up ACC play last season. And let's give the starting lineup of the Joliet Generals. Ben Leoff playing shortstop is Jack Dupuis. Michael Gould will be patrolling center, batting second today. Brennan Fisher batting third at first base. DeShante Carraway, who has a cannon for an arm, will be batting fourth, playing catcher. Dino Biggers, a former player of the week in this league, bats fifth at second base. Bryce Vincent patrolling the hot corner, batting sixth today. Not related to Colin Small, but it's Brady Small is the designated hitter in this game. Jalen Avery's in left, batting eighth. And then Jake Muha will play the ninth position, play and bat ninth. And for Biggers, this is what they had to say about his Player of the Week award. He turned in a .438 average where he went 7 for 16 during the week, where he posted 3 multi-hit games. And the big one was against the 14-2 win over the Southland Vikings. Biggers also had a double, a triple, 4 runs scored, 4 RBIs, and 2 walks over 4 games. And that was also the same week where Rex Stills had won Pitcher of the Week after his complete game shutout of these Generals. It only was 7 innings, considering it was a doubleheader that day in Carroll Streams off the campus of Wheaton College. It was at their baseball field, which is about 3 to 4 minutes down the road from the campus, so it wasn't too far. It's a D3 school. So that was just week 2. So Biggers won Player of the Week the week after Tyler Schultz won his Player of the Week, and when he had a great performances against the Vikings, and that 3-game set against the Oilmen that was on Friday. No, it was Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday due to the rain out on that Friday. But we're still waiting for the umpires to get on the field, as now the entire starting lineup is behind the mound talking to assistant coach Hallberg, and the manager Justin Heisman is looking at his lineup in the dugout right now, and we're still waiting for the pair of umpires to show up. I guess this is a good time to give out some Happy Father's Days. Happy Father's Day to Mark Mild, my twin. Happy Father's Day to Jeff Mild, John Pearson, and Brad Clark.
Happy Father's Day to my dad, Ronald Ferry.
Ronald Ferry.
Definitely wouldn't be where I am without him.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And a special Happy Father's Day to a good friend of mine, John Gallatin from Muncie, Indiana. He is celebrating his first Father's Day today with his 2-week-old daughter.
Wow.
Yeah, he is a happy guy. I was surprised when she was born that they didn't announce the name was Rose Concepcion Gallatin, because John is a huge Cincinnati Reds fan. I always said if he ever had a son, there's a good chance that the middle name would be Bench. So he has some time. But he was celebrating Father's Day today, and he's pretty ecstatic. He's going to be a good dad, John is. And I think the umpires might be finally – actually, no. Now every corn dog is going to retreat back to the dugout and stay out of the sun. It is a beautiful day, but the sun is still out. We're going to be a few minutes late tonight. It's now 6:04. The game was scheduled for 6 o'clock. Tom Bialik, our PA announcer, was on the money one more time. We were 2 minutes early, but with warm-up pitches and getting everything set up, that we were going to start at 6. But now we're starting late, so now me and Noel are just going to sit up here and talk to you guys and fill your ears and fill the airwaves with our conversation. Noel, did you finish watching The Sandlot?
I definitely didn't finish it.
Did you start it?
Still have to start it, actually. But I said earlier that I made a promise, hand on my heart, and other hand on this sculpture of a corn dog here that Andrew's grandfather made for us, that I would either watch it tonight or tomorrow on my off day. So the next game that we call, I will be ready for any sort of Sandlot trivia.
So let me have a piece of paper from your notebook right there, and I'm going to write down 5 questions, and if they aren't filled out by the next I don't know if it should be an away game or the home game, because we do play in Chicago on Tuesday, so we'll be hitting the road for that. And then there's a home game on Wednesday for these Lake County Corn Dogs. We'll look at their schedule. So anyone that's viewing this can now schedule a time to come to one of the games. The next home game is on Wednesday against the Red Hot Vikings. First pitch is at 7 o'clock. The gates open up at 5:30 those days. And then there's another home game on Friday against the Crestwood Panthers. Once again, every home game besides Sunday, every game will start at 7. Once we play on Sunday, it's 6. But once July hits, not a single game played on Sunday. So let's get some good questions. If you're watching our broadcast, if you have any questions that Noel should fill out when he is watching The Sandlot, go ahead and put them in the live chat. Checking it out right now.
One of those days where you got all excited because the teacher said you were going to watch a movie, then they handed you a worksheet with it.
Yeah, exactly. Number 1, what team does Benny the Jet play for? I guess you have to know that you will show him as an adult in the movie. So you have to put the Sandlot team.
Got it.
Okay, number 2, nickname of the main character. What is the nickname of the main character?
Only thing I know from The Sandlot is Smalls.
Oh, well.
So maybe that's the nickname.
Okay, so we won't do that one then. We won't do that one. How about the name of the lifeguard?
No idea.
Okay, then we're good there. Name of the lifeguard. It's a very popular Halloween combination of the lifeguard and the person she ends up marrying. But it's not during the movie, of course, because they're kids. Number 3. Oh, what about this? What position does Small play? And you can't Google these.
I will not go. And we will have a conversation about the Sandlot as well to make sure that I didn't just Google the answers to these questions.
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want cheating. We don't want you to be called. 'Cause if you cheat, you then have to wear a Houston Astros jersey for the rest of the time. How about that?
That's definitely fair.
Number 4, name of the dog, and then what is his actual name? So he has 2 names in the movie, one that he's called by the Sandlot team, and then there's the actual name you discover later on in the movie.
Okay.
And number 5, what year is the baseball from? So there's a baseball that's going to be traded at the end. I want the answer of the one that they get from a character that they meet.
Is it 1976?
No.
Okay.
Which coincidentally, the same year my dad was born. So good guess there. He's actually going to be having a birthday coming up soon on the July 17th. And then my parents are celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary on July 5th.
Yeah, my dad, his birthday was actually yesterday. So he celebrates his
Happy
birthday.
birthday, Mr.
and-
Ferry.
Yes, and Father's Day back to back.
Yeah, you timed that out perfectly. I think we talked about that on air a few days ago. And I said, is it kind of like kids that are born relatively close to Christmas? So they'll have a birthday and Christmas, and then it's like, oh, here's one gift counts as that one day.
Usually we'll go for the 2 gifts, but this year we got him something very special, a combined gift of sending him to see his favorite comedian in Missouri.
Who's his favorite comedian?
Sebastian Maniscalco.
I don't know that one. And I just spent a whole year with a person that wants to be a stand-up comedian. I didn't know that one. And he said so many different names. I feel like the way that he would talk about comedians is the way I talk about athletes.
Yeah.
I have a good story to tell. So my good friend, his name is Patrick Masters, and we were playing 21 questions, which is like that you can ask yes or no questions, and you can ask like at the beginning, is it a person? And you go yes, and then they ask questions follow that. Well, I picked Michael Jordan. I picked Michael Jordan, and he goes, is there a movie for this player? And I'm thinking Space Jam and all the documentaries on Michael Jordan. I said yes. And then he asked, did he play baseball? And I go, yes, he did play baseball.
Yeah, he definitely did
He
play
did.
baseball.
And he asked me if he played in the major leagues. I said, no, he didn't quite make it to the major leagues. And then he said, so he was a minor league player. And I said, yes. He got so frustrated with me because he was saying only Mild would know a minor league baseball player that has a movie named after him, and this is ridiculous. This is why I don't play with him. And I said to my friend sitting next to me, I said, well, I didn't say he just played baseball.
Here come the Corndogs.
As we do a second entrance, as all the players have now pre-entered the field after the umpire has finally arrived, my friend goes, oh, so you didn't play just baseball, Mags? And he goes, and I go, yeah, he played another sport. He goes, does it Michael Jordan? Pat didn't really talk to me for the rest of the night after he realized it was Michael Jordan. But that's the fun part about that game is if someone goes down one path and gets stuck, they get frustrated, and there's nothing you can do because you want to help them, but you can't. As now Joe Silva and Justin Heisman, the 2 managers, are now exchanging lineup cards with the home plate umpire for this game as the Corndogs finally arrived back onto the field. And thank you for all of our listeners for being patient and having to listen to my boring old stories. But a lot of respect for all the people tuning in. And as Tom Violet said, my stories are good. And Frank Plezak will go into his warm-ups now. He had to wait a long time to start warming up with Jaden Deal. But we're going to get baseball. Didn't know if we were going to get it or not after a long pause. Good thing we have lights on our field. And we'll start 11 minutes late, a little bit later than that, on a beautiful Father's Day Sunday. It is currently 83 degrees here in Crown Point. And there's going to be winds blowing out to the northeast at a cool 8 miles per hour. It's a lot better than some of these days we had this last week. No, it was 96. I remember when we went to Chicago, it was 98 to 100 that day. And I think we had like one more 96 day in Whiting. But today it's 84. And for those who have pools, you're going to be a very popular person, as it's, again, going to be really hot these next few days. It's going to be 98 degrees on Tuesday. So if anyone wants to invite me over for a pool party, just let me know. You can send it into my DMs and send me the address. I'm always down for a good pool party.
Yeah, and us here at the Corndogs media team, we're all fun people. We're all great people to have at your pool
We have
party.
fun. I think we have fun. I just hope the fans are having fun with us. I guess that's important, too. I know Tom has fun.
Laughing with us, not at us.
Always. We're at a 10-game streak of making Tom laugh. Let's see if we make it 11 today. That's our goal. And here we go. Finally, baseball. As we put our fists up in the air and cheer. My favorite 2 words, Noel, play ball. As Jack Dupuis will start off our game after he had a long time to warm up on the on-deck circle. As the Corndogs re-entered the field twice, they went onto the field after opening announcements, left, and they came back. So they got their cardio in. I hope one of them is wearing an Apple Watch, starting to fill up their rings. Pitch from Plezak, and that's called strike one, and we are on their way. First pitch at 6:13. Corndogs and Generals. Generals wearing the yellow, Corndogs in the white for just the second time in franchise history. Here comes Frankie, and it's a foul ball into the glove of Jalen Deal, but popped out. 0-2. No, what are we going to see from Frank Plezak today?
Well, he loves the fastball, and he's got great placement of it. Something that the Corndogs were struggling with was just getting the ball into the strike zone. And someone like Frank, you don't have to worry about that too much. That's why those first pitch strike percentages are so high, and he just showed it right there.
0-2, he's ahead. The pitch, swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Mr. Dupuis. There's one out.
Next batter, number 8, Michael Gould.
Frank has been probably the most consistent pitcher for the Corndogs so far, just putting up great game after great game. He's got a lot of talent.
We talked about it with Frank. There was 3 words we used for him. It all started with C's. It was consistent, and then there was pitch, hit to the right side. It's going to drop in for a fair ball. Matulik will field it off the ground, throw it in, and there's a double for Gould as he goes the opposite way on an outside fastball, positioned it perfectly, and there's a runner in scoring position for the Generals to start off this game.
Well, usually the broadcaster's jinx comes into play.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly what we saw there.
I got it. It was cool, calm, and collected, but also consistent. Those were the 4 C's of Frank Plezak. And, of course, there's the 3 I's, and that's usually only used when something miraculous is going on the field. And hopefully Noel doesn't have to break that out today, because that means the game got a little bit too close. Pitch from Plezak is a breaking ball. It's inside. 1-0 to Brennan Fisher. But you talked about Frank Plezak and his consistency. We already mentioned the 81% strike percentage on first pitch strikes. So every time he throws a first pitch, 81 of them are going to be strikes. And, of course, he's gonna look over. And he threw ball 1 as at bat, 1-0. Frank Plezak comes in with a 1-0 record and a 1.42 ERA, one of the best on the team. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to the right side. Colin Small moving in. He's got a Sunday hop, shuffles, fires, and gets the second out of the inning. But because of the ground ball to the right side, Michael Gould moves up to third base. And no, I know we haven't seen this team in a long time, but I do remember DeShante Carraway, 1, because of his cannon of an arm, and 2, he reminds me a lot of Doug Loden when it comes to his approach at the plate. And it's the same approach that Babe Ruth had, was swing hard, and if you do and make contact, it's going to go a long way. The pitch, a knee bender right there. It's a strike. Carraway didn't expect it to break away. It did. And Plezak got the outside corner. It's 0-1. So once again, first pitch strike from Plezak. Plezak working out of the stretch. He fires the pitch. It's in the dirt, blocked by Deal, 1-1 now. And for terms of strikeouts, Plesac is currently tied for first place in strikeouts on the team. Well, now he's got ahead because he has 24. Going into the start, he was tied with Troxel and Sham with 23. But now Plesac regains the lead with 24. 1-1 is the count to Caraway. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball, 1-2. And this is another ability that Plesac has shown to have. When there's runners on base, he stays cool and calm and gets some strikes and tiptoes his way around danger time and time again. Can he do it here? I'm going to knock on wood after saying that. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on third base. Plesac gets a sign from Deal, his battery mate in this start. Here comes the right-hander, and he gets Caraway on strikes. So after giving up the double to Gould, he gets the ground out and his second strikeout in the start to end the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first with the Generals nothing and the Corndogs. Coming up as you're watching Corndogs baseball on the Corndogs Broadcasting Network. Welcome back into the booth. Andrew Mild on the play-by-play. Noel Ferry joining in as the secondary broadcaster today on this Sunday afternoon. And let's look at the Purdue Federal Credit Union starting lineup of your Lake County Corndogs. And for the Corndogs, it's going to shape out as this today. Batting leadoff and return to the lineup, it's Gavin Terry. Brett Mathies will play first base, batting second. Schultz batting third, as always, playing shortstop. Rowan Koontz, who has a home run in the air, will bat fourth and is a designated hitter for today. Cal Curiel will play the fifth position, playing third base, batting fifth. Hayden Matulik is out in right field, batting sixth. Ridgway in the other corner outfield position, batting seventh. Jaden Deal, as we heard, was behind the plate, batting eighth. And then Colin Small, a former Macron player of the game, will bat ninth, playing second base. And the first pitch from Christian Jacob sails outside. And it's 1-0 to Gavin Terry, who is debuting his first white uniform, as he was not here when the uniforms were debuted 2 days ago against the Oilmen. The pitch from Jacob is a called strike, 1-1. Just hit the outside corner. Jacob comes in with an 0-0 record, but a 3.60 ERA, as he's just had a cup of coffee on the mound this year for the green and gold. Terry lifts one to the left side. Gould is moving. He's sprinting, trying to grab it. He won't. It drops in. Terry slipped over at first base. He's going to haul in the second base a little bit slower as he just tripped over the base, but still gets a double. And there's a leadoff double for the Corndogs. And I think it's safe to say, Noel, we miss Gavin Terry.
Yeah, and he is back automatically with that leadoff double. One of the hottest bats in the Northern League, and just what a story it's been for Gavin Terry. I remember even seeing when we were doing the player bios how little time Gavin Terry had to start at Western Illinois University, and seeing him in those first couple games and thinking, how is that even possible?
Well, you guys want to be on the lookout for a Gavin Terry video coming from Josh Brunette, as we'll talk about Terry and what he's trying to do Mathai steps up, watches one miss inside 1-0. As Gavin Terry, that double is his second on the year, and it's coincidentally the last time he hit a double were against these Generals at Carroll Streams, as he almost hit a home run and it bounced right off the wall. It's 3:30 there. Mathis watches one go right down the middle for strike one. It was 3:30 down the lines at Wheaton College's field. I believe it's called Leaf Fund Stadium. It's 3:30 down the line. It's 3:20 here, so if he would have hit it here, it would have been a home run. 1-1's the count. Pitch from Jacob. Just outside, 2-1. But for the rest of Jacob's stats, 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. As he's a right-hander from Concordia River Forest College. Pitch is outside one more time. 3-1 to Brett Mathis. He's 1 ball away from reaching base. Jacob pitched against these Corndogs earlier in the season. 3-1. And hit to the left side. It's slicing it. Drops into the gap. Gavin Terry rounds third. He's going to head home. He's going to trot in. And the Corndogs are on the board 1-0. Some great hitting from these left-handed hitters going the opposite way with some nice Apo tacos on Father's Day.
And it's so easy to see here in the press box. I'm not sure if you can see it on the live stream itself, but when those balls are hit, they've got a good slice to them up in the air that caused them to fall into the gap. If Terry's ball didn't have as much curve as it did in the air, that most likely could have been caught by Michael Gould there in center.
Gould's got some good speed. I was surprised he couldn't track that baseball down. Schultz watches the bender go for a strike, 0-1. But for Jacob's start against his relief appearance against the Corndogs, he went 1 inning, allowed no runs, 1 hit, 2 walks against 4 batters faced that day. Pitch to Schultz is in tight, 1-1. He also made an appearance against the Oilmen, where he went 4 innings, allowed 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 walk, but he struck out 6. This is just his 3rd appearance on the mound this year. He's set at the belt. Pitch. Schultz hits a chopper to the left side. This could be a double play, but the throw goes into right field. It was a wild throw from Vincent. It goes into right. Muha now has to make the play and throw it in. That will go down as an E5 on Vincent, who rushed the throw. So Mathis moves up. Schultz reaches on a fielder's choice as Vincent tried to turn a double play, but he just sailed the baseball in the right field. And the Lake County Corndogs get a break right there as they try to build up a big lead early. And here comes Roman Koontz. Koontz has got some great power. Breaking ball, down low, 1-0. Just seems as though Vincent rushed that throw, Noel.
Yeah, I'm not seeing too many off-speed pitches from Jacob here, and I think that it's beginning to look a little bit predictable for the Corndogs.
Schultz is on the move. Caraway's going to throw down the third where Mathis was waiting for it, and Tyler Schultz will pick up a stolen base. He had a phenomenal jump on that play. Caraway knew he had no play to try and get him, so might as well try to see if you can catch Brett Mathis sleeping over at third. Mathis was not. He was back in there. And we have 2 PNW players in scoring position for Roman Koontz. 1-0, breaking ball that Jacob Denaga on top of, misses outside, 2-0.
Well, and there's the first one we've seen, and he didn't get it to break the way he wanted, but I think he's going to need to incorporate that more into today's game to get a better look.
Pitch. That drops in for a strike. Top corner on the inside part of the plate, 2-1. So that time he was able to drop it in, and Roman Koontz, who's ahead 2-0, says, you know what, I don't like that one. I'll look for another one. 2 balls, 1 strike. Set at the belts, Jacob. Pitch. Ball 3, actually, looks like that was ball 4. As Koontz goes down the first base, and the bases are loaded.
Well, bases loaded for Cal Curiel, who currently on the year is batting .340.
Yeah.
And like we have said in this previous home game, he has blossomed from just a player who comes in clutch, but he is the consistent bat for the Corndogs that when you've got a guy who can confidently lead off.
Down low, ball 1.
In this 5th position here, that just speaks numbers for how much talent is on this roster overall.
Yeah, Cal Curiel went 3 for 5 against the Oilmen on Friday to increase his batting average to .340, as Noel mentioned. Chopper left side, Vincent going to go home. That throw is high, but Caraway's able to keep his foot on the bat.